So check this out. So my apartment is up there, and they've started removing all the vegetation on this hill. I'm gearing up to put a tower here, a tower over there, and then another tower here, and a fourth one there. So 4 buildings all in this area over the next year and a half or so. I used to look out onto greenery, and now I have a nice unobstructed view of the construction site. So even though things have gotten a lot better here in China, that everyone's still on high alert, right? So everywhere I go, I wear a mask. I have hand sanitizer in my car. We can live our lives, but we have to take the extra precautions so that this thing doesn't come back. Today I've come to Ximena Park. It's one of the largest city parks in all of Guangdong. Definitely the largest one in Zhongshan. Sometime in the future I'll come in and I'll do a proper video about this park because it is quite large. They even got their own little zoo in here. Like many things in China, a lot of it is still under construction. Today I wanted to talk about something that's very personal. So I hope you guys don't mind a nice personal vlog as I walk through the park. As many of you know, the borders for China are closed to foreigners. Now I'm in China, but that means if I leave, I cannot come back. Now that doesn't mean 100% that I cannot leave. There are ways I can leave. I can walk across the border, but any border I cross, I'll be subject to quarantine. There are just a few flights out of mainland China right now, but they're thousands of dollars one way. This is just one small element of a number of things that are going through our minds here as expats living abroad. Some things have happened back home where it has caused me to think about these issues, and I don't know, I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts with all of you. And I can come to this very beautiful park where I'm just about all by myself. Now, I have lived abroad for well over 4 years. I spent many years in the service and traveled a lot and lived away from home with that, but this has been the longest continuous time of my life that I have spent away from America and away from my home, and away from my family. What is the hardest thing about living abroad? I put this question to a couple of my friends, also expats, and got a range of answers. And this doesn't just mean China. This could mean anywhere in the world, really. The first one I got is you feel like a constant outsider. And yeah, that's true. That's one of the good things I think about living abroad, though. I've been told that after many years, it kind of gets old and you really wish you had a sense of community. Well, I feel I have a sense of community, so that's something that I don't struggle with. Another thing, and this might be just because I'm getting older, but time seems to move at a different pace here. The past seems so distant. What do I mean by that? I mean that my previous life of being a hotel manager, being a troop, being a friend, a son, a brother, an uncle, it seems like a lifetime ago. It's inevitable that you would grow apart from your friends and family. As they go on with their lives, you go on with your life on the other side of the world. With today's technology, Skype, Facebook, even YouTube, we can stay in touch with each other. But the connections the bonds are not as strong as they used to be. Everyone can talk about the differences between, the two different places that you were living. The culture shock, reverse culture shock. I actually think that's one of the alluring things that continues to keep me abroad. So that's really not too much of an issue for me. Even though I work at a university and I have a lot of free time, That free time, I have to decide between spending the time going home to see the family or traveling to new places, which let's not forget was the original reason why I moved abroad to begin with. So every summer and every spring festival, we have to make that choice. Do I go home to see the family, or do I go explore someplace new? It's not an easy decision to make. You try to fit both of them in, but then you feel like you're playing it half-ass to one or the other. There is a community of expats, and they become your new best friends, really. But still, even though there are some Americans here and some Westerners here, it's very hard to find people that can relate to you. Because even in the expat community, we all have different pasts. We all come from different cultures. We try to incorporate each other's, eccentricities, and but the guys here from Europe or Australia don't share my passion for baseball. I got this question in a recent live stream. He asked me, what do you miss the most at home? And that's easy. My family, of course. My family, my friends, how beautiful it is. I miss driving on the roads. I miss the food, some of my favorite restaurants, or going to a Dodger game, or watching sports at a friend's house, or with my family, or even going to a sports bar. In this video, I'm going to share with you some clips that I did back last summer when I was in America. These are things I did not publish, but I think it's very apropos to this discussion that we're having now. One of the things I miss about home is camping. Now, I've gone camping here before, but it's not the same. I miss just driving into the mountains and pitching a tent for the night and having just emptiness all to myself.
You have the national parks that you can camp in, and they're beautiful. They're very popular in the summer with lots and lots of people, and they can get pricey. You can pay well over $30 for a little square to set up your tent for one night. And then you have this, which is what they call dispersed camping. Dispersed camping is basically free camping on public land, and in the western part of the United States, there's a ton of it. It's your land, it's public land, or it's managed by the government, but you're allowed to come up here and use it freely within certain boundaries, and you can come up here and camp and set up your tent for free, and no one's going to bother you. But it's not just in the mountains. There's them down in the prairies and the deserts as well. A lot of that. You see a lot of off-grid guys and big solar panels on the top of their trucks out in these areas. What they do is they come up, leave their trailers, and then they go explore the forest. At night there'll be a few more van people, people who live in their van.
One of the most interesting parts of American culture that I got to celebrate last summer was just going to the Orange County Fair. Orange County is where I grew up. Coming fresh off the boat from China and then going to the Orange County Fair was an incredible moment of culture shock. They have fairs here, but not on this scale. Any county fair that you go to is really a celebration of that local culture. It's the food, it's spending time with your family, it's having fun on the rides, it's looking at the arts and crafts and the artwork from the local community. Like I said, I grew up in Orange County, and we are famous for beaches. I miss surfing Doheny State Beach. I miss the fish tacos at Schwack in Dana Point. Or Wahoos in Laguna Beach. I really miss driving on some of the country roads, Ortega Highway. But now I want to share with you what I think is the hardest thing about living abroad. And that is when life events happen back home. We're talking graduations, births in the families, weddings, and funerals. And you're on the other side of the world. And it really hits me hard now. It's a slap in the face because before I knew if anything were to happen to my family, I'm 20 hours away from the front doorstep of my parents. I'm there. And from door to door, it's about 20 hours. It's a remarkable fact, a testament to the modern world that we live in. But that is no longer the case. Now, at the very least, it is a 2-week endeavor. If I can even get a flight out of China, I would be stuck in quarantine for 2 weeks when I got back to America. I filmed this last summer. It's a very personal moment for me, and I never shared it with any of you, but I feel as though I want to share it now. There were 2 deaths in my family very close together last year. My uncle and my cousin Tack. And I got to see my cousin Tack at my brother's wedding a few months before he died. And he was doing well, and it was great to see him. He was one of those guys that he can overcome any kind of personal demon and be the better man for it. And I definitely miss him. The other death was of my uncle. An amazing man in his own right. An incredibly humongous personality, too big for most people to handle.
So one of the hardest things about moving abroad and living abroad is the fact that back home life goes on. You've got births in the family, you have graduations, you have birthdays, you have holiday time, you know, and all these great things. And then of course you have deaths in the family. You know, there's been a couple deaths in my family the last few months that I have not been able to, you know, grieve with the family because I've been on the other side of the world. But today is special. It's middle of July. Today we're celebrating the life of my uncle who passed away a few months ago. So I was not here for the original memorial services, but they're doing a nice memorial today up in LA. So I'm going to drive up into the valley of LA and see all my family. A special day for me here at home. But that brings me to downtown LA at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which means rush hour is starting and will continue for the next 5-6 hours.
If we could each had our own, each had a name, that's what we had to wear. So my parents were really into this make them look alike.
Go, good.
Almost.
So we can tell the paramedics exactly what happened.
There it is.
Everybody in the chemotherapy office loved him. You walked in and it was like this harem of women just came to serve him. I'm scared to death of sharks. And I looked at Kelly and I said, I'm going to face my fears. I'm going to do it.
Everything from the surf line in was gone. There was a little tiny bit left outside. right?
1, you got this filming?
Go for it.
2, 3. Oh!
Yeah.
So if you ask me, what is the hardest thing about living abroad? That's it. It's not being there for your friends and your family when not only they need you the most, but you need them the most. These are things that when you are deciding to move abroad and you're all excited about the adventure, you don't think about, or at least you don't want to think about it. But it is a reality. So I want to thank everybody for allowing me to spill my guts, to have all these things jumbled up in my brain and not be able to express them to anybody is not healthy. And so these little walks in the park where I have an outlet is very therapeutic to me, and I appreciate everybody watching my videos and supporting me all this time. So until the next video, I hope everyone is safe and healthy and happy.